What's up, everybody?
My name is Anthony Irvin.
You beat yourself?
Yeah,
okay.
CB myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Jim Green.
Don't even need to hit a fucking traffic light.
Okay, good.
Welcome to
One set.
What's up,
everybody?
Welcome back. We are live, bringing you the latest from WWE, giving our predictions and everything in between from the storylines from WWE on Raw, SmackDown, and giving our predictions from PLE. So if you're watching for the first time, we are the One Set Podcast. My name is Anthony Irvin. I'm here with my buddy, best friend, Jim Green. What's going on, buddy?
Anthony. I'm good, brother. It's good to see you. It's good to be here. What's up, One Set fam? Good to be back again. I will say, SmackDown, giant snooze fest this past week. Now, it is, if you're tuning in somewhere down the timeline, we are recording currently Monday, May 18th, 2026. I am talking about the SmackDown that happened on Friday, May 15th. You know, for anyone that's super keeping track of the dates and stuff like that, the biggest takeaway from SmackDown, just to get that out of the way, we had Cody Rhodes calling out Gunther. He's got the contract for SmackDown and for Clash in Italy, and Gunther comes out on the ramp. He's kind of just running his mouth, and then out comes Royce Keys, gets in the ring, and basically says, he tells Gunther, like, if you're not going to sign it, I will. And it's like, oh, this is interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Gunther runs down to the ring. He's like, what are you doing? They're fighting over the pen. Out comes Nikki Aldis. And he's like, okay, you two are going to fight tonight. And the winner gets to face Cody Rhodes to Clash in it. I'm like, okay, they're not going to do Cody Rhodes versus Royce Keys. But okay, let's give Royce Keys something to do here. And
Right.
we get Gunther versus Cody Rhodes out of it for Clash in Italy. I'm like, okay, that'll be pretty cool. We get to Monday Night Raw tonight. Now, mind you, we have Saturday night's main event coming up this Saturday.
We have a double, header coming to us with this weekend and next weekend. And if I'm not mistaken, the AAA show,
on next Saturday.
Yeah. So we got a lot of PLE. We'll obviously talk more about Saturday night main event this week, and we'll give our predictions for the other ones for the following week, so we don't do too much. But, Yeah, I mean, we want to cover a couple things on Raw tonight that we thought were, pretty big. Obviously the one that stands out that I think everybody's talking about right now that I would think are Brock and the return of Brock Lesnar, taking out Oba, which, obviously I don't think a lot of people saw it coming either tonight. The whole thing of people thinking that Brock wasn't officially retired. I mean, it was a good possibility because we still thought, he was going to be available for, SummerSlam. So, let us know if you guys are in the comment or if you guys are watching right now. Let us know in the comments what you thought of Raw, what you guys have going into Saturday main event. We're going to be, again, breaking down some things tonight, so we want to hear from you guys as well so that we can bounce things off together. Join us in the chat. But yeah, breaking down a little bit from SmackDown. Again, I didn't see much of it, but I heard about the Gunther and Cody stuff, so it's good to see Royce Keys giving a little bit of, time with him. My thought with that is obviously, Gunther is not going to be too far away from that. I can probably think that, that'll get some type of interference by Gunther in a way. What do you think about that?
I think ultimately there is a good chance that Randy Orton costs Cody Rhodes the WWE Championship, and we get that feud to continue without the title.
Randy. He hasn't even been there the last couple of weeks. I mean, it kind of just ripped Randy off. So there you go.
That's why they do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It gets the WWE title on Gunther. I mean, for Gunther to have ended these careers and not put one of the main titles on him, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? Like, so
Hmm.
he needs one of those bigger titles, and Roman's got the world heavyweight title occupied, like
Yeah,
for now, and we'll
for
talk about
now.
that.
Right.
Um, I do think that there is a good chance they're in Europe. I mean that the Clash in Paris crowd is going to be mega hot, okay, and they have
Italy.
after. Yeah, I keep saying Clash in Paris.
We were just talking Clash of Paris from last year, so yeah, Italy's gonna, or we got Paris on our minds, but yeah, Clash of
Yep,
Italy. But yeah, that
Clash in
that's gonna be
Italy.
a pretty hot. We would hope that crowd's gonna be a hot crowd.
And
But
I don't think there's any way around it. The European crowds are phenomenal.
mhm.
So just getting Cody versus Gunther, a Clash in Italy, should be stellar. Number one, we get to the opening segment of Raw tonight, and it's like, okay, Roman's coming in, Adam Pearce is there, and I was like, tell me they're gonna just run this same thing again, just because, like, okay, we're coming up on the summer months, and like the Raws, like last week, very kind of eh. Tonight's episode of Raw actually turned out to be one of the better episodes of the year all around. Um, I mean, for WWE to not have teased Brock Lesnar returning in order for for WWE to have not teased Brock Lesnar return, and for him to just return on this random episode of Monday Night Raw and not at a major PLE, I mean that in itself, is enough to be like, okay, I guess I really need to tune into Raw just in case something big, like
Yeah,
they definitely pulled the trigger on that at the right time. And let me tell you how interesting that they asked all of these superstars to take up to a 50% pay cut in their contract. And now we have, after Brock Lesnar threw down the gloves and took off the boots at WrestleMania, now we have Brock Lesnar. Oh, I'm
hmm
I'm so glad that Brock agreed to that 50% pay cut,
it's so good how business works sometimes, don't it?
Yeah, sure. No, it sounds like people got chipped out of money and they agreed to this because it's like, okay, what else am I gonna do?
Yep.
Um,
Hmm.
and Brock Lesnar definitely is getting this big money bag to come back at this point.
Of
Like,
course.
I mean,
We because
of course, of
need
course.
fans to be coming in seats. But the good thing is, we were speculating about LA Knight last week. We did get 2 segments of LA Knight tonight, so he is good. And
For now,
for now,
now,
yeah.
for now.
Did he sign that contract? We'll let you know.
See you next week.
See you next week. But yeah,
So
at least we know LA Knight is still around. I mean, whether or not that he has signed a new contract or not, or has agreed to any of those type of terms, we obviously don't know at this point. But still good the fact that we saw LA Knight tonight, and knowing that he's still dipping his feet somewhat in the main card, so it's not like they've shifted him down to mid or anything. So he's still somewhat putting his eye in the Roman field, putting his eyes in the Vision and Seth and everything. So he's just kind of waiting for his moment to, strike on either one of them. But yeah.
yeah, I mean, the cool thing about it is it's like you're not sure which way it's going to go. It's not very predictable. So it's like,
Hmm.
okay, I'm intrigued. One, you got LA Knight back on TV, and two, it's like, okay, but what do you do with him? Because you literally, and he said this to the Usos. He's like, we just tagged together at WrestleMania against the Vision, and now you two, like, what you're doing is very much not different from what the Vision
What the
is.
Vision
So
has
like,
been doing. Right.
yeah,
So kind of
which
just, putting it in their prospect of like, think about what you're doing. You're going right back into the same thing that what Roman wants you to do is kind of being by his side, but then he doesn't really care about you guys. So, but they're just thinking family first. I don't even think they're somewhat worrying about how Roman treated them back then. They just think of it, this is a family issue. You can't go back on family. We had our issues with them, but this is a family issue. So that's what they're going off of. But, LA's being that outsider of, reminding them how Roman really can be. when he has
Yep.
some type of power. He's obviously been out of power the last couple years, but now that he has that belt back, will we get him to have that sense of power again? So LA Knight's just going to be that outsider, for the Usos, and seems like obviously now he's doing the same thing with Seth, and thinking of you know you know Seth being that he doesn't have anybody around, and LA Knight saying, I'm not trying to be a friend to you, but telling you this is how it is. So trying to put a little bit of game into him, but it
Not mad
yeah,
about it.
yeah. I mean, it's good that LA's kind of playing that game to be like, I can either be your friend or I could be your worst enemy at this point. So
Yeah.
whatever you want it to be, I can help you out, or you can just fight against me, and I'm gonna do what I need to do. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah. I think ultimately, I love that. I love that we got him kind of interweaved between, you know, uh, Bloodline over here and Seth still, and potentially the Vision. Like, so it's like interesting to see where they go with that, right?
Right.
Could he feud with Jey Uso going into the summer? Possibly. Wouldn't hate it. It's also like, okay, are they actually going to turn LA Knight heel? I'd hate to see it, just because like I think he is fairly over with the fans. And when I say fairly over, I mean like if they started booking him properly again, and he knew that they were giving him like good creative work, like the crowd will be all over him again. Like they will be so totally into him again.
Agreed.
I definitely think it's just interesting because they have Money in the Bank happening in September this year, which would like, it's just so like new for us fans that have been used to it like in June and July, like right before SummerSlam. Um, I think he's definitely a league contender for that. Um, as far as Seth goes, I mean, he had a backstage segment which it definitely indicated. He said, "I don't care which one of the Vision members it is, but I like." He called out Braun Breaker. It definitely seemed like we were getting that, and then
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the night, it's like, "Oh, lol, just kidding. It's gonna be Theory versus Seth," and it's like, okay, I guess that's fine. I mean, the the crowd can't complain because they got the return of Brock Lesnar. Like, as
Right. But that's the second time that Heyman's kind of done that to Braun in a way, like because he gave it to Logan Paul one time, then now he gave it to Theory, so Braun's eventually gonna start questioning Heyman's authority to be like, okay, like, do you trust me that I could beat Seth? Do you trust blah 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 this and that? Could
well,
be
I think
setting up something within that to Braun eventually breaking off to his own thing.
also it's just like the Seth and Braun matchups. Those are PLE matches, right? Like just all around.
100%.
So it was curious to feel like, okay, we're just gonna get Seth versus Braun on in the main event of Monday Night Raw. Like strange, but like I'm here for it. Like it's fine. But um, then it panned out. It's like, okay, like we're clearly gonna get that at, well, it's not gonna be Saturday night's main event because it's just not. It's too big of a match for Saturday night main event. But I know what, like we're just kind of jumping all over the place. We got to kind of fly through this one. Apologies for jumping around. The intro, and I'll circle back to this in a second. The intro with Jacob Fatu coming out, calling out Roman. The Usos come out. Jacob basically, is able to handle the Usos, and then Roman comes out. He's able to handle Roman until the Usos come in, and then suddenly it's 301. And then they have
Mm-hmm.
Jacob tied up in the ropes. They're laying waste to him. The three of them walk up the ramp. Adam Pearce comes out. Roman tells Pearce, okay, if you can fire him, do whatever. Like I'm done with him. And then Jacob gets on the mic and he's like, Roman, tribal
Tribal
combat.
combat. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, Roman's not going to say no. So then he's like, I accept. And immediately Michael Cole's like, a match like this, like it's got to be a Clash in Italy, right? And I'm like, okay, so they're Michael Cole's
Thanks for
already
the obvious, Cole. Like,
yeah. Michael Cole's already confirming that Saturday night's main event doesn't mean shit. Okay, it's like these matches are just here to be here, but Clash in Italy is where it's at. So
right.
we have like, and after the Brock Oba stuff, Adam Pearce finds Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman is like, yeah, Brock Lesnar's retired, but I have a contract signed by Brock Lesnar already for a match with Oba Femi at Clash in Paris. And I'm like, okay, so we have tribal combat, Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu, Cody Rhodes versus Gunther, and now Brock and Oba 2 at Clash. I'm like, this card is absolutely stacked. Like it's
just those three alone is a stacked card.
I mean, those are 3 main event matches right there.
Like
and
WrestleMania caliber in a way. You might argue.
It's almost I saw online, like I'm not going to take credit for saying this, but it's almost like WWE is booking their own WrestleMania card, because the WrestleMania card that we got was TKO's version of WrestleMania, like what TKO wanted. So I'm like, yeah, this is crazy. Like just those 3 matches alone, I'm like, that's a must-see PLE right there, and it's next Sunday.
I mean, hey, if we would have got that for Mania, that would have been even more. People probably would have been more interested in buying tickets for a Brock Oba match, plus Gunther and Cody, and then a decent match with Jacob Fatu and Roman, with a little stipulation to it, but. Yeah,
it definitely feels, because like, okay, Cody and Randy Orton on paper supposed to sell tickets, but they ruined it, right? Like in hindsight now we can look back and be like, they ruined it. Like you can't say anything more or less about it. They just ruined it.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things that happen with wrestlers getting coming down with injuries and storylines just kind of being broken, so they kind of just had to, pick up a lot of pieces to make it work. But
they had to throw the Pat McAfee stuff in there and get Jelly Roll involved. It's like, leave these guys out of it. Like Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton alone should have sold that match. And
I'll take that till anything that you did not need any more stipulation than what that match was going to give us. I think people were tuned into it until that happened to it. Like we were even saying at that point that I think the Randy Orton and the Cody matches, doing a lot more better build up than the CM Punk and Roman stuff. Then when they got into the celebrity, mishap, it kind of just sold everybody out. Like I'm tuned out, and then
fell apart. And then Cody and CM Punk and Roman was an absolute heater, classic match at WrestleMania. Like I will go back and watch that match again.
Yeah.
But anyway, Clash in Italy. Holy smokes, what a show that's going to be! And I mean, it looks like we're probably maybe. I don't know what women's match we're going to get at Clash because they have 3 women's matches for this Saturday's main event, Saturday night's main event. I'm trying to think if there's anything. I don't have my list right in front of me and like my notes from Raw. I think we touched on the big stuff first. Let me see. Yeah, we talked about LA Knight. Paige and Bree defended against Roxanne and Raquel. And it's like, oh yeah, the winners are going to go face Nia Jax and Lash Legend this Saturday at Saturday night's main event. It's like, okay, they're not going to pay. I say that, but like they have hot potato the women's like tag titles before, so like you can't say that they wouldn't do that.
because you got to think that Nikki's eventually going to get back into the fold with Paige and Brie. So it's either Paige turning on Brie or Nikki turning on Paige to get Brie and Nikki back, and then they'll have some type of thing with that. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes, because that's obviously not going to last too much longer. Yeah, I mean,
Well, it definitely feels like they could set up for like, okay, when Nikki Bella's ready to come back, we can do Liv Morgan, Roxanne, and Raquel versus Nikki and Brie Bella and Paige in like a 6-woman tag match type deal there.
yeah. I was even
'cause
thinking if they don't turn over the belts this weekend, they could push it to closer to SummerSlam and have that 6-woman tag or 6-woman stipulation in some sort. Yeah, because I feel it's pretty much all on if Nikki's going to be able to go or not. If they're still giving her some time, I don't see them losing it, because if they're just, on this big, babyface realm, they might as well just keep them at it until they can confirm that Nikki's going to come back. Then they can start setting up, the turn on either Paige or Paige turning on Brie.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
And really, I think that a good way to do that is just have, like, they're already planting the seeds for Paige versus Liv Morgan, right? Which is like totally fine. And, you can have Nikki Bella coming back and costing Paige the match and being like, look, you were supposed to fill in for me as Brie's tag team partner, not go on a singles run and go after the world heavyweight title, right? Like, so that
a lot
all
of different
feels,
angles you can go.
that all feels very on par for like a decent direction. That doesn't mean that they're going to go that way, but we'll see.
Right. Yeah. We're only predicting, guys.
Yep. That's what we do. We're just prediction guys here.
We're just prediction guys, yeah.
The other noteworthy takeaway, we did get JD McDonough and Finn Balor in a street fight match that was really good. And what I really liked about it was
Kudos
it was
to
a
this
good
match, dude.
It was a good match. You had Dom Mysterio interference, and Finn Balor still picked up the win at the end of it.
Very good for Finn in this situation.
Yeah. JD looked great. I mean, JD and Finn have stellar chemistry. Like, you could have them go off and on in matches for the next year, and I wouldn't hate it.
If they're giving star matches like that, I will never not want to watch that.
Yep. Sol Ruka came out, and then out came Becky Lynch, and we're set. They basically set that up, and Sol Ruka was like, and I'll take that IC title, and Becky's like, nah, you're not ready.
Yeah. You didn't say nothing about an IC title. You just said you wanted to fight.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha.
So, you came in, had 2 matches, lost them both, so your track record says you don't deserve. And I was like, okay, that works. Like, I'm totally behind that. So we get this one-on-one match, and I don't see how Sol Ruka loses again unless if they're like, oh, we're just going to have her keep losing. And I'm like, that's not going to put any stock in her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sol Ruka's...
If you're putting her in that type of situation, you got to, at least... And it's a non-title, so you just make her deserve the win here to get the actual IC title one in the next time around. So...
Yep. And, like, let that feud carry us all the way to SummerSlam, right?
Yep. And gives Ruka the belt, and then Becky might be done after that for a little while as well.
Could be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did some pre-tape backstage stuff with Ethan Page and Penta. It stunk that there was no Penta on Raw, because always just as soon as you hear the amp and the cable, come, right?
Yeah. It was a little weird not to see Penta there tonight. Yeah. And just
but we
seeing
got
a backstage tag.
We got the surprise return of Brock Lesnar, so it's like, all right, this is fine. And the rest of Raw all around felt like a really good show, like just totally unexpected. Okay, cool.
And even the fact,
So
I'm not sure if he's just specifically on SmackDown right now, but we didn't see any Danhausen tonight either.
I think that they're leaning him towards just being on SmackDown.
That's what I've been. Yeah, so I figure okay, because I think we did get a small segment on their this past Friday, but yeah, usually it's been like we get a little small segment on Raw, but yeah, we didn't see anything. So yeah, he
I
must just be strictly on SmackDown at this point.
I think it's good just because it's like the guy is everywhere, and it's like you don't want to oversaturate him too much.
Yeah, I
So
mean they've really over the last month just really been pouring everything into him. So now it's like you can kind of cool it down and then just start limiting him to either one brand or just on occasion flipping from here to there. But yeah, they were just like putting him everywhere and anywhere.
yeah, just popped in my head because I was like, okay, Danhausen is done with the Miz and Kit Wilson, because that was, and then I was like, oh wait, I'm saying that because this is what they did with the Miz and Kit Wilson on SmackDown was they had them come out and interrupt the opening segment of SmackDown, which was the Trick Williams homecoming, which I got to tell you, you should go back and watch that opener to SmackDown. It's like, okay, this guy came off of being in the main event segment the week before with the funeral for the gingerbread
The
man.
gingerbread man.
And then you had him open SmackDown in his hometown with this hometown crowd. That place was going absolutely bonkers, bro. Like you have to go back and watch
I'll
that
have to go back and watch. Yeah.
because it's our guy Trick Willie. I mean, come on now.
Yep.
That being said, let's get into our predictions for Saturday night's main event. Again,
Let's do it.
These cards are usually very much like, okay, we're just putting casual wrestling matches on free TV for people who don't have Netflix, maybe, or don't have any of the streaming
Or just don't want to
services,
pay $30 to see mediocre wrestling. Yeah.
or a shit ton of ads, right?
That too.
That being said, and we're just going to go down the list on Wikipedia here in order. We have the Intercontinental Championship being defended. Our guy Penta defending against Ethan Page. I don't think it's Ethan Page's turn yet. I do think that he has. I feel like we are going to get that fatal 4-way match with Rusev and Javon Evans in there in the mix.
Yeah.
And I do think that Ethan Page will wind up getting. I think Ethan Page will walk away with the win out of that fatal 4-way match because it would protect Penta essentially. And I feel like Ethan Page is just going to get a roll up win on probably Javon Evans, which would make sense because if you're building towards Javon Evans getting that title, put it on Ethan Page, leave it on him for a while, and then build the feud between Ethan Page and Javon Evans, and then
Yeah.
pull the trigger on that.
I agree. I think Ethan Page has been probably like the most interesting opponent for Penta right now, but I would like to see Ethan Page take the belt in a better situation with the fatal 4-way situation rather than Ethan Page getting it right now because he's just coming off of being one of the new main roster guys. Pay your dues, but I think they obviously want to put some stock into Ethan Page. So
you need to give him a stellar match at a decent show. But if you want it to matter, if you want it to matter, it's got to happen at a bigger show than Saturday night's main event. Like
like you always say, give people a reason to want to believe in this person, and then let them win it at the better event. I think give Penta one of his last obviously big championship wins. I think it'll be a definitely a good match to see. It'll be hard fought between both of them, but I think at the end I will definitely say Penta comes with retaining this one. But yeah, I think this will be a good match to see for sure.
Yeah. We have the Vision, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory as the tag champs defending against the Street Profits. Man, I would love the Profits to win. Um, I'm just not sure it happens yet. I do
Yeah.
I do love how they had Angelo Dawkins be the one to run out to try to help Seth tonight at the end, and Montez
Yes.
Ford running out and be like, "Dude, I told you to like stay out of this guy's business," basically.
I love how they're putting together the Montez Ford thing to hope eventually like break the team apart eventually, because if we're going to get Montez Ford in a singles run, you're slow ball this, either heel turn or type of thing that they're going to do with him, whatever they're trying to like forecast with him. I think somehow the Street Profits get screwed out of this match, and they lose on some type of disqualification, either maybe not caused by Seth, but something within this realm. Maybe Braun Breaker gets involved and Seth gets in there and then causes the Street Profits to lose. We continue this whole thing that, Angelo Dawkins is trying to, say that, even though we can't trust Seth, he's kind of somewhat helped us get to this point in a way. So, yeah, I agree. I would love to see the Profits get that belt back, but I don't think it's their time yet.
And again, like, I do think that this could be the main event of the show just because if you have Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins involved, like,
yeah,
they would want the show to end with some important angle unless hang on, I'm just looking at this.
Unless you're starting off the night with the Vision, because again, we're getting 3 women's matches and 2, men matches. So either you put either you open with Penta and Ethan Page, and then do your 3 women's matches, and then end with the Vision, or you open up with a women's match, go Penta,
and then you go women's men, women's.
Yeah, so kind of just sprinkle. Yeah.
Sprinkle. At which point you could ultimately do Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss against Jade Cargill, Michin, and B-Fab as the main event. Because I don't think they'd do Becky Lynch versus Sol Ruka as the main, because Sol's so new. Like, your casual audience tuning into Saturday night's main event, they're not going to know her.
Yeah. I mean, if you're really... It really depends on if you want to start off something hot or if you just want to just warm up the crowd. You can start it with a Becky and Sol Ruka, or you just make that into a middle of the match, middle of the card type thing. Again, I'm not really interested, looking forward to the Brie and Paige and Irresistible Force match. It can kind of just be a snooze fest to my end. I can really care less. Like
very much in the middle of the show sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, if we're kind of picking out of order, but I'll give my prediction. But it's obviously that I kind of just foreshadowed that prediction with that. But yeah, to conclude the Vision and the Street Profits, if we haven't already, would love the Street Profits, but I think the Vision come out of this out of a DQ easily. I mean,
yep, yeah, that sounds about right. Rhea Ripley, Charlexa against Jade Cargill, Michin, B-Fab. I mean, Fatal Influence gets involved here, and causes Rhea Ripley and Charlotte and Alexa the match, because I mean, Fatal Influence has been all over Rhea and Charlotte's ish, so writing on the wall kind of speaks for itself.
It could set up, because I heard somewhere we could be getting another rematch for Rhea and Jade at Clash of Italy, so that can set up for that. Which again, adding to those other 3, another good match
another absolute banger of a match. Yeah.
So give me that match again. But yeah, so what was it, what's the new 3 women's
Fatal Influence.
Fatal Influence. I had the Irresistible Force in my head. It wasn't that. Fatal Influence. Yeah, I can see them getting involved with that because they've been all over SmackDown the last couple weeks, which I'm totally down for. So keep putting them in the spotlight if they're trying to just make them kind of a contender in the tag team and singles run with that. So, yeah, knowing that they've had some battles with Rhea already and Charlexa, definitely see that happening as a way for them to lose the match. So, give me Jade, Meechin, and B-Fab as the win there for sure.
Definitely. Becky Lynch versus Sol Ruca. I think we said earlier. Sol Ruca's got to get the win here. The title's not on the line yet, so they got to put some stock in Sol, and she needs to show everybody what she's made of in her first PLE match, it being a Saturday night's main event, and you're in the ring with the female best in the world, and it's not just her saying it, it's Sports Illustrated saying it, it's everyone saying it.
I am actually going to pull an audible. I am going to, since we always usually do 50-50, this is going to be my 50-50. I'm going to play the 50-50 game on this. So I'm going to say Becky Lynch takes this because even though, we do want Sol Ruca to win this to get the credibility, I'm thinking in another way that you give Becky Lynch that, heel win of either a roll up or something, and it gives more people invested into Sol Ruca winning at the next one. So I'll take
it.
I'll take Becky getting a roll up or some out of nowhere win at a Sol Ruca, and she's like, I expected to win, but just takes her eye off the prize for a minute, and Becky Lynch capitalizes on it. So I'll take Becky Lynch on that one. So it hopefully pivots Sol Ruca to get that off of Becky Lynch at the next one, or if it goes to SummerSlam or before it, I'll take that. So Becky Lynch for me.
I kind of like Becky Lynch eats the Soul Snatch and then Soul goes for the pin and she puts her foot on the rope. So so the ref
with Io Sky, we have seen that the Souls it can be reversed if you just don't go with the movement. So it's kind of been shown that you can counter it in a way. So you could take Becky Lynch learning from the match.
I think Becky Lynch definitely eats it. Definitely eats the Soul Snatch, but when Soul goes for the pin, I think they're going to be so close to the ropes that Becky Lynch just puts her foot on the rope, and then the ref has to break the count. And then I actually would like to see Becky Lynch use the ropes, put her feet up on the ropes to get the pin, so a cheat to win kind of thing.
Yeah,
which totally fits what you're saying, and I like it. I like it a lot. I hope it works out the way that you just laid it out because it's more interesting than just Sol Ruca's got to get the win here, right?
Yeah, which both seem great. I was just kind of thinking outside the box, and I think that might be a good way to go with it too. So
I like it. Last, Brie Bella and Paige as the champs, defending against the Irresistible Forces, Lash Legend and Nia Jax. I mean, I don't really care about this match. I'm kind of with you on this one. Just because, in case anyone was wondering, or in case anybody's new to wrestling, Brie Bella and Paige are not a tag team, right? So,
how odd.
And I actually do like Nia Jax and Lash Legend together because it gets Nia Jax away from singles matches, away from being going after the main titles, and I'm leave her out of the main title pictures. I don't want her anywhere near those anymore.
Please.
I like her. I like her in a tag team with Lash Legend.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Lash Legend is a future world champion. But I like her in the tag with Nia for now. It works. It makes sense. Like they
Yeah,
work well together.
agreeable. Yeah, I mean, I don't care who wins. I mean, but from what I was saying earlier, I can just see Brian Page retaining. You know, they kind of need the up and ups because you can still get the irresistible force trying to still, you know, chase to get those championships back. I don't really think they need the championships to keep them, relevant. They've already shown they've been dominant. So, it could set us up for something in the later run, or we get Brian Page just getting a good win out of this match. But once and for all, don't care.
Yeah. We got a handful of viewers in the chat. And any early predictions for Clash in Italy? I know it's a stacked card, dude. So
Yeah, I mean, with the 3 that we said earlier, and then plus the one that hasn't
the
been
Rhea and Jade
confirmed,
rematch,
but the possible Rhea and Jade rematch. Yeah, give me that. If I were to predict that, based how Jade has been with the other 2, give it back to Jade and let them both, do it again at SummerSlam and be a 3 out of 3.
I also they are teasing Jade Cargill versus Charlotte Flair. So
That's one
I mean,
they've been really
we've been
going
waiting
on
for.
too,
It is a SummerSlam match.
for sure. Yeah.
So
So yeah, if you don't do a 3 for 3 with Rhea, then definitely do it with Charlotte, because again, I don't think there's been any indication, but you don't know how much longer we get Charlotte Flair for as well. So if
Yeah.
you're trying to give Charlotte one more run at the championship, that could be something, or giving her, another high caliber match, because there's only a matter of time before Charlotte and Alexa split ways.
yeah, and it's like, okay,
I think they're just a ticking time bomb at this point, because it's just like, how much more can we take of each other? Because we know we don't really, have good tension with each other before, but we've just been working with each other. But it's only a matter of time before one of them just, ticks over and one of them turns on each other.
yeah, and I would not be surprised if they did like I don't know if they'll do it at WrestleMania, but if it's like Charlotte versus Alexa Bliss, and then Alexa Bliss just retires after that, like she's like, I'm good. Like I
Yeah.
got another run at it, like after having a baby and after like being really taken out by the passing of Bray Wyatt kind of thing. Like
Yeah. She's another one
Charlotte,
that's had like a decently good career. I mean, she's been the Raw Women's champion, SmackDown. She's got tag titles. I mean, she's got a couple mid card matches. So, I mean, she's had a career for herself, so she doesn't have as much to prove as well. So knowing
Yeah,
if she were to be done after that point, that's a hell of a career for her too. Possible Hall of Famer. So
Yep.
yeah.
I think so. Clash in Italy. Yeah, I would like to see Jade win it back, because like it's like, okay, you could get Rhea chasing. They could also give us Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill versus Charlotte Flair in a triple threat match at SummerSlam, and I
was
would
thinking
not
that
hate
too.
it.
I was thinking
wouldn't
that
hate
too.
it.
Would not hate it either. I was thinking that too with a Charlotte, Rhea, and Jade. 2 or 3, decent women in that would be a really good.
That's a stacked triple threat match, by the way. Like
definitely stellar for sure. That would be hell of a match. Just even thinking of that. So
yeah,
I mean, I don't think we want to. Do we want to predict the other 3, or we just want to wait for that for next week because we can go into more detail?
I mean, early prediction, just
all based off those 3, or
if you look at them and just like
based off right now,
now,
yeah, because we don't know what's going to happen next week to kind of sway us into that. So yeah, we're looking at Jacob and Roman on that aspect. I mean, if they're going for another one, and again, we don't know if Roman's still going to be here in June, if they're still, letting him take some time off. And if they're doing a tribal thing, why are you going to do a bigger stipulation and have Jacob lose again?
I don't like it.
Right now, give me Jacob for the win.
I love it. Yeah, me too. That's like the way I'm leaning, and honestly, Jacob's calling for tribal combat, and it's like okay,
and he called for it. And
so
you're going to make him lose after he called for that specific match.
he called for it, and I think that Jacob is bringing in Zilla Fatu, and like Jacob's going to bring in somebody on his side. And I know like people are like, oh, don't hot potato the title like that. TKO wants to build up the younger talent because these older guys are leaving soon in the next couple years. It's like you gotta pull the trigger on some of these younger guys getting these world titles sooner than later.
You gotta give them some time to
get stock in these younger
that's
guys.
We were saying that again, you gotta give them at least one or two of these dudes that just pull the trigger and see how they do. Just throw them out there, see what happens. It's not going to be a game winner every single time, but you're going to hit one or two of them out of the park eventually. So if you're going to start it, you might as well start it with Jacob Fatu. Eventually, you're going to give it to Braun Breaker. Eventually, you're going to give it to Oba. You gotta eventually start giving these guys, chances to be at the top and see how they do.
Yeah,
And,
I mean, and we always use Jey Uso as kind of like, I mean, hey, they took a chance on him, they saw how it worked out, and I gotta say,
it was meh. It wasn't the greatest. It was meh.
It was all right. I mean, he had. I know we talked about. He had a banger of a title defense against Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw, and it was like, this is Jey Uso's best match as a singles like wrestler. Like that match was
it's a matter
crazy.
of giving them time, and I think they're just learning from their lessons of just kind of keeping within the calibers of these group of guys, because we know they work good, we know they're selling, we know they're doing, but then you've had this pot of all these other younger guys that they just need that one match, or they need that one moment to project them into something else, and they've never had that opportunity. This is that opportunity. If they need to, put somebody into the forefront, start with Jacob Fatu, because he's got the crowd behind him right now. You just need to give him that one little thing. Even if it's just a month that we get him for a champion, we're not expecting, another long Roman Reigns title reign. Just give him the next couple weeks with a title. If he wins at Clash of Italy, give him the month of June to just do something.
Yeah. And we could literally be seeing Jacob Fatu defending that World Heavyweight Championship against Braun Breaker as early as SummerSlam. Like, give it to us. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
And then you could have Braun Breaker take it all the way to WrestleMania, and you could do Braun versus Seth at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight title. Get it back on Seth. I mean, I don't know. They have to do Roman versus Seth at some point, right? Like they're definitely still teasing that, and I know
I don't feel that needs a title though. Just like anything, you can do that anytime, belt or non-belt.
It was like Austin versus The Rock, WrestleMania 19. Like didn't need the title.
Don't need the title. They have so much past history that you can put that on a silver platter and just watch it. Anybody would, because you got the. Just give it to me. If whatever stipulation you have for it, somebody's gonna watch it.
Yeah. Oba versus Brock Lesnar 2. I mean, like the obvious choice. It definitely sounds like you give Brock the win here, so that the third match is at SummerSlam, right?
Yep. Yeah. Just gives a little bit of, humanity or some type of like that Oba isn't, he is obviously mortal as same thing as Brock is, so they're showing their vulnerability. So maybe even though Oba's even though Oba's wasn't like a squash, maybe you do get Brock giving Oba like a squash match and just being like, oh, don't forget about Brock. He is dominant. He took out Oba in less time than what Oba did. Even that, let's give it that. Not a squash, but Oba's match was like 4-5 minutes. You give this match like 3 to 4 minutes. Then you can say, well, Brock beat Oba in less time than Oba beat Brock. Then that leads into SummerSlam, and then you let that go on.
They could go 10 minutes. Yeah.
They can go. Then you give the 10-minute match and just their the 3 or 4 false finishes and just everybody out of their seats and just I like that. So
I'm here for it.
Early prediction for that. Let's just say Brock smashes Oba this time.
I like it. And then Cody Rhodes versus Gunther. So my thing here is like if they pull the trigger on Jacob Fatu actually beating Roman in Tribal Combat, Cody Rhodes retains because they're not going to change both of those main titles in the same show. Ain't no way. Would I like to see Gunther take that belt off of Cody? 100%. But also, like, Gunther hasn't lost a match in how long since he started retiring people, since he since Gunther started the retirement business and then beat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, albeit Braun Breaker did get involved, but I do really think that there is a shot. I will say this. Unfortunately, like in my heart of hearts, I want Jacob Fatu to win and beat Roman Reigns. But that being said, I think it's more likely that we get Gunther beating Cody at Clash in Italy and Roman Reigns retaining. Unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, all signs kind of like going back to the point of just the fact that I don't know how you put Jacob in the fact that you're calling for that match, but then you have Jacob losing. It's
like, okay, where do they go from here now? I know. That's why it's like.
So it's kind of hard to, put Jacob out of the realm of like, oh, okay, well, he's just going to lose to Roman again. So, that just, again, early predictions. We'll give our full detail next week with you guys. But yeah, I can't see Jacob losing to this one. Give him the belt, see how he does, and if it fails, put the thing back on Roman, I guess, or you get somebody else to take it off of him, and then then Roman can eventually get back to it. We'll see, but yeah, you got to pull the trigger on one of these young guys.
Yeah,
but I do agree. If you're gonna put it on Jacob, then Cody's gonna retain, or if Roman retains, then it's gonna be put on Gunther. You can't have both of those titles change the same time.
And just as likely, like you can't have both of those champs retain. Like I think one of those big titles has to change at that show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we definitely need, especially for first time in Italy, and the fans are gonna be so amped up. They need to have at least one title change, and each of those matches have to be stellar to the point where again WrestleMania caliber matches there. So
yep,
I think we're gonna have a good one for sure.
Definitely. Y'all in the comments, just want to say thank you for tuning in and hanging with us.
Yes.
And we got to wrap this one up. It's a little bit later than we wanted for this, but that's all right. We had a great episode of Raw, so it was like totally worth kind of saying up extra to talk about. And we have back-to-back weekends with Saturday night's main event coming up and Clash in Italy happening next weekend. For everybody in the chat, make sure you follow us on Facebook. The Facebook group is the number one set fam. Again, that is one set fam on Facebook. Come hang out with us. That is where we do all of our community interaction. We've got a great thing going in there. Shout out to all of our one set fam fans.
Yes, we love
Thank
you
you
guys.
for tuning in. Anth, anything else before we get out of here?
If you guys aren't on the Facebook community chat, make sure you guys at least follow us here on YouTube at One Set Pod. We're also obviously on Facebook. We're on X. We are on Instagram. So make sure you guys follow us. We are here live every Monday after Raw, discussing storylines, everything on WD Raw, SmackDown, and breaking down predictions for PLEs. So thank you all for tuning in. Again, if you're here for the first time, my name is Anthony Irvin. I'm here with my buddy Jim Green. We are the One Set Podcast. So we will see you guys next week with more predictions. And have a good night, guys. This has been One Set.
Until next time.